The entire figure skating world is currently holding its collective breath, stuck in a limbo of pure adrenaline and nerve-wracking suspense. An eerie quiet has taken over the sport's biggest stages, the kind of heavy calm that screams a massive earthquake is coming. Ground zero for this eruption is the 2026 Milan Winter Games, where that frozen surface will turn into an all-out war zone. Right in the eye of this hurricane is Ilia Malinin, the American prodigy who has already snatched the world title twice. Just hearing his name sends shivers down the spine of anyone foolish enough to chase a medal against him. When the official rosters dropped, they confirmed something so wild that even the seasoned pros were left speechless. Malinin isn't just skating. He is loading up a free program with technical firepower that basically tells gravity to take a hike. He is shattering the limits of what a human body can do, turning a sport into something that looks straight up supernatural. This isn't just a routine we are watching, it is an aerial blockbuster played out in the thin, high-altitude air. His jump card lists the quad flip and the mythical Quad Axel, a move folks spent 100 years calling impossible. Then he throws in a quad lutz and a quad loop, spinning enough times to make a mathematician dizzy. The kid is locked and loaded with punishing combos like a quad lutz triple flip and a quad toe triple toe, executing them with laser precision. But the real showstopper is that insane quad salchow triple axel sequence, executed like it is the easiest thing in the world. Since he has mastered literally every quad out there, pundits are basically carving his name onto the gold medal already. They are betting the house on him because his technical score ceiling is up in the stratosphere, way past anyone else's reach. But history loves a twist, and Olympic ice is never a smooth ride or a playground for the weak. It is a brutal beast, where the mental squeeze can make even the biggest legends forget who they are. Even the icon Evgeny Plushenko is sounding the alarm, pointing out hairline fractures in Ilia's supposedly bulletproof mindset. Plushenko noticed Malinin looking shaky during the team event, flashing a rare glimpse of nerves. While that was happening, Japan's Yuma Kagiyama grabbed the mic with a performance so light it felt more like poetry than athletics. Kagiyama didn't skate. He floated, painting a masterpiece on the ice with transitions smooth enough to be framed in a museum. Plushenko reckons the crushing weight of those Olympic rings is finally starting to sit heavy on Ilia's young shoulders. He mentioned we haven't even seen 70% of the American's full power when he is actually dialed in. Poisonous whispers started drifting through the arena, suggesting a quad axel under that kind of stress was just a pipe dream. Things hit a boiling point when a weird paperwork screw-up gutted his coaching staff right when he needed them most. Rafael Arutyunyan, the strategic mastermind behind Malinin's rise, was suddenly blocked from standing by the boards. A total mess-up with the U.S. roster credentials meant the legendary coach got his badge denied. They offered him a regular seat like a common tourist, but Arutyunyan turned it down with pure professional pride. He had to watch his student from a distance, helpless to shout a last-minute fix or a word of comfort. Trapped in a whirlwind of red tape and isolation, Ilia Malinin was staring down a mission that looked more impossible by the second. He had to figure out how to keep from getting fried by the scorching expectations and the burnout nipping at his heels. But for Ilia, chasing greatness was never a solo trip on a cold, unfeeling slab of ice. Beneath the cold math of the score sheets and the crazy spins, a massive family legacy pumps through his veins. He isn't just out there for his own fame. His skates carry the heavy dreams of an entire lineage. Born to two Olympian parents, the ice rink wasn't just a workplace, it was basically his crib. It was his safe haven, the holy ground where he figured out how to glide before he could even toddle. The Malinin way isn't about fancy compliments. It is built in the freezing, pitch-black Virginia mornings. While the roads were still asleep under the fog, the family would march to the rink with military discipline. It lives in the calloused hands of his dad, Roman, grinding blades under a flickering garage light. Every careful pass on the steel made sure his boy had the bite needed to survive the G-force of a quad. It burns in the sharp gaze of his mom, Tatiana, a champion who knows exactly what the view is like from the top. She taught him that their bloodline doesn't tally the falls. They only keep score of the times you get back up. They count the moments you fix your collar and look up at the rafters like you own the place. Midnight video sessions with his dad and doodles from his sister Ellie were the real bedrock of his mindset. Those little acts of love became the solid ground he needed to launch himself over the doubts haunting Milan. Across the village, the atmosphere was choking with tension as rival camps battled their own unfolding catastrophes. Petr Gumenik of Russia was living a waking nightmare after a copyright ban nuked his music track at the 11th hour. Forced to pivot to Onegin with mere days on the clock, he was skating on the razor's edge of total collapse. A dawn patrol doping test at 7 a.m. left him starving and cold, stealing the precious time he needed to prepare for the ice. That whirlwind of panic was a sharp counterpoint to the fortress of silence Ilia built to block out the crushing weight of the world. He knew the stars and stripes rested heavy on his shoulders, yet he skated for the ghosts of the past who guided his blades. From a wobbly-kneed toddler to the deity of flight, this odyssey was a shared inheritance. Destiny came knocking during the team finale, a symphony of sharpened steel and nerves held together by sheer will. When the score dropped and the United States clinched the crown, the Milan arena absolutely erupted into chaos. The dam finally broke for Ilia Malinin, unleashing a torrent of feelings bottled up through years of grit and heartache. Draped in glory, he ghosted the flashing cameras and the hungry reporters chasing the scoop of a lifetime. He turned his back on the adoring masses and sprinted toward the quiet figures waiting in the shadows of the stands. Locked in a frantic, bone-crushing hug, the quad god stripped away the armor and finally let go. The superhuman athlete who defied gravity sobbed like a baby, burying his face in his mother's comforting shoulder. Every hot tear was a testament to the thousands of freezing hours spent grinding through the bitter Virginia winters. They carried the weight of every bruise, every fracture, and every silent sacrifice his folks made to build a champion. Ilia slipped the heavy gold disc from his neck and pressed it into the trembling hands of the people who made him. "We did it! I never could have reached this without you," he stammered, his voice cracking over the roar of the crowd. In that fragile, crystalline second, Ilia wasn't the record-breaking titan of the ice anymore. He was just a grateful son, the latest link in an Olympic chain forged by generations of sweat and blood. He needed the planet to see that this gold wasn't just metal. It was alchemy created from sleepless nights and family devotion. Behind the mythic conqueror of the impossible stands the unbreakable backbone of a family's love. Milan 2026 proved one thing. Records gather dust, but the fire of a parent's belief burns brighter than the stars.